A message from the Clerk of Cleveland Municipal Court.
Are you in a dispute with someone involving $3,000 or less? The Cleveland Municipal Court can provide an easy way to resolve financial disputes among individuals or businesses in the city of Cleveland. A nominal filing fee allows you to present your dispute without the need of an attorney or a long court procedure. We're here to help you resolve your disputes. For more information on how to file a claim, call 664-4860 or visit our website.
I'm Judge Lauren Moore, and I preside over the Greater Cleveland Drug Court. And I'm so pleased to see you all here. Our graduates look wonderful. Let's give the graduates a hand. You guys are great. And a hand for all the supporters and everyone who came and everyone who participates in the drug court. Because that's going to be you in a few months. And so they stand as an inspiration and motivation to everyone who's in drug court currently and will be graduating soon, hopefully. But I welcome you to the 56th graduation of the Greater Cleveland Drug Court. We are going to have a wonderful time. We are going to celebrate some wonderful achievements, and I thank you so much for being here. We can start with the elected officials. Do we have any elected officials present? We do have Judge Nicastro from the Garfield Municipal Court. I know she has several graduates here, and we thank her for her referrals, and we thank her for her support and her presence here today. All right, we'll get right to it. We have a wonderful keynote speaker today. Some of you may know him. He works for Moore Counseling. He's a very dynamic person, very knowledgeable, very honest, very candid, and I think you'll enjoy his message. So without further ado, we will welcome Mr. Philip Coe.
All right, thank you. So glad that they've given me about 3 hours to speak to you all, laugh at some of my jokes. Well, just want to thank you all. I'm very humbled to be your speaker today, to all the court officials, to the judges, graduates. Just want to say congratulations. This is definitely what I like to call a defining moment for you all. As we go forward, and as we sit at this graduation, all of us, if you look around, everybody looks good. We have people here with degrees. We got people here with titles behind their name. But one thing for sure, I'm sure if you asked anybody if they ever had some issues in their life, I'm sure they'll tell you, I have. And if you have not had any issues, you're welcome to come and take this microphone, tell me how you're living life. But with that being said, all of us have certain things in our life that we dealt with. And as I was preparing for the graduation, I was thinking about this young boy. Just to kind of start off, when this young boy, he was about 5 or 6 years old. He had a babysitter. She was about 17 years old, and she was babysitting him. She sexually abused and molested him. With me being a counselor, I'm able to kind of talk about his story a little bit. After that, because he's a person that's very close to me, I would say about 7 years old, 7 or 8, his father and his mother got a divorce. So he had a couple strikes against him. He gets sexually abused at 5. When he turns 7, his father left his life. Now, the most important thing about that was his father was someone that should have defined who he was. Oftentimes we look at little boys and we say, well, be a man. And the hardest thing about that is, how can you be a man if you don't have a real man that's there to help shape you? So with those 2 strikes against him, he gets to about 13 years old and he begins to join a gang. where he sold drugs. And because he did not have that guidance, the streets was what actually taught him who he was to be. Not only that, a part of the initiation part with the gang was doing drugs and doing alcohol, and that's what he did. All the way to where he got to 21, and he ended up getting a legal consequence because he was doing drugs and he was doing alcohol and he got a DUI. With that being said, this actually was one of the defining moments because he was sitting in the jail cell when I kind of talked to him, and he said, you know what, either I'm going to change or I'm going to die. And with that being said, for the very first time, for those that's in the room, you may not be spiritual, but this individual was spiritual at that time. You know, you ever got in trouble and you said, God, if you ever get me out of this, I promise I won't ever do that again. Well, this was his defining moment. And he asked his higher power to help him in that jail cell. Well, if you already haven't found out, that person is me. Oftentimes we see where people are and we don't know what they've been through to get to where they are. And so today, as I talk to you about defining moments, yeah, you went through the IOP, you went through drug court. That was the easy part. I don't know, some of y'all might have found him as a case manager, so that's not too, that's pretty hard right there. But with that being said, I say it jokingly because I understand where you are, and this is the easy part. And so I would talk to you as I'm closing. What is purpose? A lot of us, we don't like to embrace our past, but our past is what gets us to this place of where we are. Yeah, you see us smiling today, but I embrace my past because I understand that I would not be the man that I am today if I had not embraced the defining moment. And so today is your defining moment. Listen, not everybody does what you're doing. Even though your arm, somebody pulled your arm a little bit, you might have got arrested, you might have been in jail. But guess what? Those opportunities are needed for us to go to the next level. And so I want to congratulate each and every one of the graduates, because I need you to know that, it's not if you're going to have an issue or have a circumstances. The question is, how are you going to handle it? You've all learned some tools. You've learned a lot of things of how to live life now. And you're going to keep learning. We're always going to be here to make sure that your success is always in the forefront of our minds. But with that being said, I want to congratulate you. But I want to leave this one statement with you. I see you in your future, and you look much better than you look right now. Congratulations.
As usual, Mr. Coe is very, very good at expressing himself and seizing the moments and making it meaningful for everybody. So thank you again, Mr. Coe. All right, at this point, we will have our court proceedings. Is there anyone here from the County Prosecutor's Office? Public Defender's Office? I believe Mr. Brant Teixeira, who is the public defender in my room and has represented many of you during the last 3 months, I believe he has a motion to make.
Thanks. All right, good afternoon, everybody. Congratulations on behalf of myself and my office to the graduates. Judge, this time we're going to make a motion on behalf of the graduates to vacate their pleas, vacate their convictions, dismiss their cases, and to seal their records.
one of the benefits of being in drug court and finishing drug court. The first one being you are clean and sober. The second one means that your cases, especially if you have a felony case, it is dismissed. So you have a clean record and you can go forward with a clean slate. Mr. DeShiro, your motion is granted.
Thank you, Judge.
I want to offer my congratulations to the graduates and especially to the families of the graduates. My name is Jim Joyner. I'm president of the Drug Court Advisory Council. There are other council members here. Would the other members please stand up that are here, Advisory Council? Judy? Many more than that. But we work in the advisory capacity in our role to enhance, hopefully, the programming that you get. I know that, well, let me finish my introduction. I work in the field of alcohol and other drug treatment, prevention, intervention, 46 years now. I'm in private practice. I work with the family members. But the other part of my introduction I want to make, which I think is more important, is the fact that I'm in long-term recovery myself, 37 years of uninterrupted sobriety. I know that if you work it, and don't get impressed with the numbers because it happens a day at a time. I know that you're here, many of you, celebration of graduation, but I think the reality is a celebration of life and families being reunited. That's what it's really about. That these folks here who are being acknowledged and recognized have a chance to live their life, to build on those tools that they've gotten, to build on the insights that they've gotten, and to utilize the support that's out there. And a day at a time, if they do what they need to do and don't pick up, then they get their life back. And we as family members get to salvage our loved ones. I'm also the father of a son who has struggled with his addiction, who unfortunately after 8 treatments has not connected the dots yet, who has spent many years as a guest to the state of Ohio in prison. But as long as he's breathing, as long as our heart beats, we never give up hope. And I am hopeful that someday he will do as many of you have made the decision to change your life a day at a time. In your bags, there's a small token in remembrance of this day for you and what you've accomplished. There's a little gold keychain in there. And it's a little different than the keychain you typically get. But when you hold it up, it reads either me, or if you flip it, it reads we. And that's a very special message. And the message is a reminder that the me's of the world affect the we's of the world. And we, as you experience through drug court and the drug court treatment team, more counseling, CATS, all the folks dedicated to your well-being have put their efforts in to make sure to help you in that early process of learning what you need to do for yourself, making a difference, a person at a time. I ask that you wear that keychain well. You put it on your keys. It's a daily reminder, and you use that in those moments when maybe that stinking thinking suggests that you can pick up and you can use successfully. And should that time come, and you succumb to that, I want you to know that if you take that keychain and you put that underneath your tongue, once that dissolves, you'll be able to use successfully. It's metal. It doesn't dissolve. I would also like to tell you that those are solid gold keychains and that they're valued at about $800 a piece. I would like to tell you that, but I can't. If I did, I would be lying. But what I want you to do is treat them as such. Treat them as if someone's life depended on it. And as long as you maintain sobriety, then you hold on to that and you carry that message, which we all know is part of our recovery. We have to give away what we've gotten. Again, congratulations to you, and a special congratulations to the family members for your perseverance, for loving them enough and understanding that they're not bad people. They're folks who suffer from a brain disorder. They're in recovery from that, and as long as they don't pick up, that person we love, that person we care about is and can be another a valued part of our life. Again, congratulations. Thank you.
Mrs. Brown. All right, we are joined with our administrative and presiding judge, Judge Ronald B. Adrian, and I'd be remiss if I did not have him come up and say a few words and greet you. He is retiring, so we were going to miss him after all the years on the bench, and he's been very, very supportive of the drug court, and so I would like for him to come up and say something.
Thank you, Judge Moore and Judge Nicastro. Good to see you. The rest of the folks here at the head. Let me just start by saying congratulations. And I know that a whole lot of you felt on more than one occasion that you were being discriminated against. You know, that somehow or another the folks that put you in this program must not have liked you very much because they were making you go through all these bunches of funnies and you really didn't want to do it. But having gone through it and having gotten to this stage, I'm hoping that those attitudes have kind of diminished and that you got to the point where you can see the light at the end of the tunnel and you're pretty sure it ain't a train. Because actually you're in a spot where you know you have your whole lives once again stretching in front of you. And it's really up to you as to whether or not that continues to be a good path or whether your train gets derailed. I'm thinking that everything you've learned and everything that you've done up to this point in time has put you in a position where there is absolutely no limit as to how fast that train can go or how far. And that only you can decide. And with the help of God, you'll make good decisions from this point forward because it really is about choices and decisions. So congratulations to you. I want to tell you just a couple of things real quick, so indulge me. This is the last time I'm going to get a chance to address a drug court class, and so it makes me go back and reminisce about how this all got started, and I don't know how much of this has been shared with you, but I want you to know that approximately, gosh, at this point, it's got to be close to 25 years, about 25 years ago, the federal government had determined that drug courts were an effective intervention for people who were suffering from the disease of addiction. They had figured that out. And not only had they figured it out, but they had played it out in numerous places across the country. So it wasn't like what they were guessing, like it was something they were guessing about. They weren't talking about something that they thought. This is something that they were able to prove. That people who went through drug court were infinitely more likely to succeed in staying off drugs than people who were sent to jail. So from all kinds of perspectives, since it was cheaper and since it was more effective, it made no sense for us to continue the drug war when we had another option that was going to work better. So about that time, the federal government approached the chief judge of the Common Pleas Court in Cuyahoga County and said, look, we got money that we're willing to invest in turning people's lives around. We'd like you to have your court establish a drug court. So the chief judge said, that sounds like a great idea to me. He took it to his bench, the 34 judges of the Common Pleas Court, and there was a hard knot of about 5 people, 5 judges on that court, who railed against the concept, who talked about how it was being soft on drugs and soft on drug offenders, and how they talked about how they were going to file things with the Supreme Court to have anybody who tried to adopt this have to go before the disciplinary council. And so as a result, they scared the rest of the other 29 judges on that bench into turning down the money And most of us, we turn down our collar before we turn down the money. Okay. But they turned down the money. And at the time, Stephanie Tubbs Jones was the county prosecutor, and she was in favor of drug court. And she and the chief judge of the common police court put their heads together, and they went to the chief justice of the Ohio Supreme Court and explained what the situation was and said, we think that we might be able to find a workaround. And the workaround that they found was to come to the Cleveland Municipal Court. And they talked to Judge Larry A. Jones. And they asked Larry A. Jones if we can find a way where the Supreme Court will modify the jurisdiction, either on a pilot basis or otherwise, for you to be able to retain people who were otherwise charged with felony drug offenses so that they can stay in the municipal court and go through drug court. Would you do that? And before they even got the words out of their mouth, Larry said yes. And then they went to the mayor of the city of Cleveland and they explained what they were trying to do, and the mayor said yes. And so then Larry went on and he formed the drug court. He formed the drug court. He recruited an advisory committee. He talked to people throughout the community to get the construct up. And bless Pat, it worked. It worked, it worked, and it worked. How many graduates we got now?
1,650.
Over that time frame, 1,650 people. Have been saved the indignities of felony conviction and being branded as drug offenders and have been able to go on with their lives. This is a miracle. Each of you is a miracle. Don't squander your miracle. God has blessed you. But it's going to take work for you to keep that blessing going. Because this is where success is not a destination. It's a continual journey that you're going to have for the rest of your life. And every morning when you wake up, you're going to have to recommit to it. Because on the day that you choose not to recommit, that's the day you find yourself back in the hellhole that you crawled out of. It's all up to you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Adrian. I do want to publicly thank you for entrusting the drug court with me about 3 years ago. And I think I've done a good job. So, graduates, I would just say in conclusion, just how you feel right now. You all feel good? It's a good feeling? Feel proud? Just imagine this your whole life, and that's all the high you need, right? Just being full of accomplishments and having everybody else being prideful for you, proud of you. And I think that's a good feeling. So try to maintain that, and you can do it. We are sure. And all of us are here to be behind you. If you have any questions, if you need anything, you know who to call, and they get to us. And if you need some kind of reinforcements or whatever, we are here. We are here. So we're not really cutting the apron strings altogether. We want to make sure that our graduates are doing well in the future also.
videotape copy of this episode, call 664-3571 with the following information on your TV screen.